Plaintiffs Lloyd and Johnna Scheuerman claim the defendant's terrible driving tore up their iron fence. They're suing for $5,000 for repairs. Defendant Aaron Rojas claims the plaintiffs said that insurance would take care of everything. So he says he owes them nothing.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Sure.
Case number 29 on the docket, Scheuerman versus Rojas.
Okay, and welcome to the court. The plaintiff, Mr. and Mrs. Scheuerman, you are suing the defendant, Mr. Rojas, in the amount of $5,000 for damages to your fence.
Correct.
I'm going to start with you. You tell me what the case is.
On January 13th,
yes.
We were asleep and we heard a crash. So I looked out the window and my dogs were barking, and all I could see was a red light flashing in our field, and so I wasn't sure exactly what it was. So I woke my husband up and said, I think there's something going on by the fence.
I got dressed, went outside and inspected the crash site. There was a vehicle laying on its side.
What kind of vehicle?
It was a Malibu, white Malibu.
Oh, okay, car, yeah.
It had laid on its side. It had taken out part of our wrought iron fence and was sitting between two wrought iron gates. The occupants in the vehicle had gone, and severe damage had been done. I made sure no one was in the vehicle, dialed 911, police responded. They then went and located the people, the individuals, defendants.
Who were in the car.
Who were in the car,
so I guess,
and brought them back.
Okay. Right. Mr. Rojas?
I was going down the street. It was like dark, so I couldn't really see, so I kept going, and it was like a deer. He came out in front of me, and I tried to not to hit it.
A deer came across the road?
Yes, sir. All right, so I tried to avoid the deer, so I turned the wheel. When I turned the wheel, the car went out of control, hit the ditch and flipped over. I couldn't move, so tried to get out, go get some help, but couldn't walk because my knee, my feet, they were injured from the crash.
I saw all three of them come out of the car.
So when you looked outside, you saw that there were people in the car?
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
And so I saw the first two people popped out pretty quickly, and the third one was holding his head. And when he finally got out onto the road, he was stumbling around, and finally he started moving, down the road.
Then they brought back two of the occupants of the vehicle and said, these are the guys that did it. This was the driver, which was Mr. Rojas.
Yes.
And one of the other occupants. I asked for proof of insurance from the officer, and he said, well, he doesn't have any. Who owns the car? And the officer said, well, he just bought the car about a month ago. At that time, Mr. Rojas responded to the officer that he would take care of all damage.
Was there any communication between you and Mr. Rojas?
Not that night, sir.
Not that night? Not, you okay? How you doing? Everything okay?
I didn't want to talk to him.
He could have been dead.
He wasn't.
You handled it very well. I mean, honestly, wouldn't the normal reaction be, oh my God, you okay?
He was sitting back at the police car after running down the road.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was doing okay.
But the plaintiff walks up to me, he like, y'all all right? He like, you okay? You need some help? And he was like, don't worry about the gate. He like, the gate's covered. He like,
He said that?
He like, it's already been hit a week prior to that, so.
You're saying that the plaintiff came up to you and did say, are you doing okay?
Yeah, it was all right.
And then he said to you, don't worry about it, this fence has been hit before?
Yes, sir, a week prior.
And he said that his insurance would take care of it?
Yes, sir.
I never spoke to the defendant that evening. I never said hello to him. He was in back of the police car.
Okay.
The man is a liar.
Were you arrested for anything? Was there a police report? You have a police report?
You'll note on that police report that it shows that his statement at the time was that he was trying to avoid a bump in the road. I believe Mr. Rojas is a consummate liar.
Okay, it does say here that you hit a bump in the road.
He asked me something. I just told him something right then and there just to make something up real quick.
Did you go to the hospital for anything?
No, sir.
No doctor?
No, sir.
Bad knee, bad ankle?
Yeah.
You're in a crash that rolls over several times and you don't do...
Nah, I was really glad we didn't die that night. It could have been worse than
Well,
that.
sure, I understand. And here the picture's taken the next day. It is clear that your truck hit the fence and caused the damage. There's no dispute about that.
The man is a liar. He makes up these stories to fabricate and to make a reality that only exists in his mind. Okay?
Okay.
There was no damage to the fence. I
The-
never
the
spoke to
damage-
him before I called him the next day.
And the fence had not been hit prior.
No, sir.
How old are you?
19.
You don't have car insurance?
No, sir.
Are you employed?
No, sir.
The reality is that this whole thing, you are not at fault at all. And obviously, you need to get some compensation back for the damage to your fence.
Yes, Your Honor.
He doesn't have insurance. He obviously, how much are the damages to the fence? Do you have those
I have estimates here. It looks to be around $6,400.
There you are, Judge.
15 foot of wrought iron fence and 2 10-foot gates.
Oh, I could see. I mean, this is totally reasonable. I'm not doubting you for a second. How do you expect to pay for this?
I was gonna get a job. I told him that I was looking for a job.
This is real life. I mean, when you get behind a vehicle that you're lucky you didn't kill anybody. I don't know why you made up the story about the deer. They're sitting at home and someone's got to pay for this damage.
But I don't
And
think...
you were dishonest with the court. And you weren't panicked. You were dishonest. You can't go through life making up stories. Because you pay for it. Now, I can give a judgment. You're not going to get it from him, right?
May take years.
All right. So I find in favor of the plaintiff.
Justice has been served.
It is what it is.
I don't feel like I owed him anything. He told me that, that somebody hit it prior before that, so he said his insurance would cover, so I don't feel like I owe him anything.